Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. So it's getting a little cold outside and I would like to wear a cute beanie. So in this video, I am going to walk you through the steps to create a very simple rhinestone template. Okay, come on y'all, let's get started. For this project, I will be using Rhinestone Flock, Rhinestone Hotfix transfer tape. I will be using SS6 rhinestones, a beanie. I will use a measuring tape. I will use a brush to brush my rhinestones in, and I will be using a wax pencil to assist me with putting rhinestones in the holes that did not fill. I will leave a link to the items in the description box below. Here I am in Silhouette Studio Business Edition, and I want to create a very simple rose rhinestone design to go on my beanie. I found this rose on Creative Fabrica. In case you're interested, I will leave a link to the PNG in the description of this video. Okay, so the first thing I need to do to get started is I need to measure my beanie to make sure that the design will fit where I want it to fit. And so I'm going to go to the table and measure the beanie. So I placed the beanie on my head to determine exactly where I wanted the design to go. And so I placed the beanie on my head and folded up the rim so that I can place the design where I want it. So now I'm going to measure the beanie, and I'm just going to measure from this top part to the bottom part of the beanie here. And I have a fabric measuring tape here. I like this fabric measuring tape because it has the additional markings on it, so you can see the extra markings on it. It has the 1/8, the 1/4, the 3/8, the 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, and the 7/8 markings on it. I will leave a link to this fabric tape in the description of the video. And so I'm just going to measure this part of the hat, which is the brim. And so I'm going to place my measuring tape down, and it appears that this area is about 3.5 inches in height. And so because this is 3.5 inches in height and I want my design to cover this entire area here, I'm going to make my design 3 inches in height. So I want to size my image to 3 inches in height. And so I'm going to select the image. So make sure that the image is selected, and I want to size it proportionately. And so I'm going to make sure that the aspect ratio is locked, and in the height, I am going to type 3 and then hit enter. Next, I am going to duplicate the image before I convert it to rhinestones. This will be useful if I was to mess something up. So I'm going to right click on my image and I'm going to select duplicate. And I'm going to move it off to the side here. Now I'm going to convert the image to rhinestones. So I'm going to first open up the rhinestone panel. To open the rhinestone panel, I am going to go up to the top menu. I'm going to select panels, and I'm going to scroll down to rhinestones, and I'm going to select rhinestones. You can also select the rhinestone panel by using the right toolbar and selecting the icon that looks like a circle with a tic-tac-toe board on it. You can also, this is where you can also open up the rhinestone panel. On the rhinestone panel, there are 4 rhinestone effects, and you can choose from 4 rhinestone sizes. There is a rhinestone spacing to adjust how close or how far apart you want your rhinestones. there's a freehand option to add additional rhinestones. There is a release rhinestones to ungroup the rhinestones. And last, there is a rhinestone counter that lets you know how many rhinestones are in your design. So now I'm going to convert the rows to rhinestones. And so I'm going to select the rows that's on the canvas. And I'm going to select the SS6 rhinestone size. And then I'm going to select the edge fill. I'm going to change my spacing to 0.017, and then I'm going to hit enter. Now I have the rows converted to rhinestones, but I don't like how the rhinestones are positioned. I want the lines to be a little bit straighter. So I want these lines to be a little bit straighter. And so to fix this, I am going to use a copy of the rows to make sure that I keep everything straight. And so I'm going to select the duplicated rows over here. And I'm going to make another duplicate by right-clicking and selecting duplicate. So that I can see, I'm going to change the color of this rose to red. To change the color, I'm going to make sure that the rose is selected. And then on the right toolbar, I'm going to select the fill panel, which is the fourth icon that looks like a paint palette. And then I'm going to select the color red. Next, I'm going to arrange this rose to the back. So selecting the rows, I'm going to go to the top menu, select Object, then select Arrange, and then select Send to Back. With the rows arranged to the back, I am going to position it behind the rhinestone template, the rhinestones. So I'm going to position it behind the rhinestones because I want to make sure that I keep the rhinestones lined up. Next, I'm going to select the rhinestone design. And on the fill panel, I am going to change the transparency to 60%. Now to fix this, I'm going to make sure that the rhinestones are selected, and I am going to go to the rhinestone panel. So I'm going to go back up to panels, down to rhinestones. And then I am going to select Release Rhinestones. So with the rhinestones released, I can make adjustments to the circles by moving them to make the line straighter on the rhinestone template. I would simply select the circle and move it using the mouse or the arrow key with my keyboard, the up and down arrow keys. If I want to add a rhinestone, I would simply select a rhinestone. Let me see. Select the rhinestone and then copy and paste it on the key with using my keyboard and then placing it where I want it to be. Or I can duplicate by selecting the rhinestone, holding down my Alt key, and then dragging a new rhinestone out of that rhinestone and placing it where I want to. Keep in mind, when adjusting the circles, you don't want the circles to touch or overlap, because when you cut the flock, it will not cut as individual circles and you won't be able to brush your rhinestones in. I'm going to make the adjustments to the rest of the template, and for the sake of time, I'll speed this part up. Now that I am finished making the adjustments, I am going to select the red rose. and I am going to move it out of the way. Then I'm going to select the rhinestone circles. So I'm going to select all of the rhinestone circles, and I'm going to group them back together by going up to Object and Group. Then I'm going to go back to the Fill panel, and I'm going to change the transparency to 0. Next, I need to create the single layer. To create the single layer, I'm going to make sure that the rhinestones are selected. I'm going to go to Object, and then I am going to select Make Compound Path. The color will either change or disappear, and you would just turn the color back. So on the Fill panel, I'm going to select black, and then on the line spacing, on the line style, which is the 5th icon, I'm going to select the 5th icon. I'm going to select the 2nd icon, and then I'm going to select none. I do not have a Cameo cutting machine, so I need to save the design as an SVG. This will enable me to upload the design into Cricut Design Space. To save the design as an SVG, I'm going to make sure that the design is selected, and on the top menu, I'm going to go to File, and then I'm going to go to Save Selection. Then I'm going to select Save to Hard Drive, and then I am going to name my file. And so I'm going to name this file Hat Rose. And then on the Save As type, I'm going to select SVG. And then I'm going to select OK. So to cut the design with Cricut, I am going to upload the design to Cricut Design Space. So here in Cricut Design Space, I am going to upload the design to the canvas. To upload, on the left-hand menu bar, I'm going to select Upload. I am going to select Upload Image. I'm going to select Browse. And I am going to browse to where I saved the image. And I'm going to select the SVG, and then I'm going to select Open. I'm going to select Continue, and then I'm going to select Upload. Now that we have the image on the canvas, you can see that we have the one single layer in the Layers panel. You should note that when you upload rhinestone designs into Cricut Design Space, they may not come onto the canvas at the correct size. So you will need to resize it to the correct size. So I'm going to go back over to Silhouette Studio, and then we can see that the design is 4.421 in width and 3.026 in height. Back in Design Space, we can see that the image did not come in to the right size. According to Design Space, the width of this image is 1.56 and the height is 1.068, and that is not correct. And so I'm going to make sure that the image is selected, and I am going to change with the proportion locked, I am going to change the width to 4.421, and I'm going to hit enter. With the proportion locked, the height of the design went to the size of that it told us in Silhouette Studio. Now it's off by 1 point, And I am going to change that. And I'm just going to unlock the lock, and then I'm going to take away the 7 and put a 6, because according to Silhouette Studio, it's 3.026. And then I'm going to lock it back. With the design sized correctly, I am ready to cut. And so I am going to select Make It on the top right. Here on this screen is the design on its color coordinated mat. Because the design will be picked up with transfer tape, there is no action for this screen, so I am going to select Continue. Here on the material screen, you would select the type of material the design will be cut with. To cut the rhinestone flock, I created a material setting of 345 pressure with 1 pass using the fine point blade. You can check out my video on creating custom material settings to create your own material settings. So I am going to come back after I get the template cut out and get the rhinestones brushed in. So here I am at my heat press. I've length rolled the beanie and I've pre-pressed it to remove the moisture. I've also placed the design on the beanie where I want it to go. I will press the beanie at 350 degrees for 12 seconds. So that is our design. So what do you guys think? I like it. I think it's cute. It's going to be cute when I put it on. It's going to be so cute. It's going to be different. All right, guys. That's all for now. I hope that you're able to follow along with my process. If you like this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.